Hey, what's happening, everybody? Good evening, good afternoon, depending which part of the world you're joining in from. My name is Coach Steady Divine. I'm a life coach, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a radio and TV personality. And I'm excited. And I'm a Zambian, and I'm passionate about just inspiring people and just, adding value to the best of our country. And I'm going to ask you to do us a big favor. You are tuned in to Talk Lounge Zambia. We're having conversations, having the future through conversation. So this country is ready for deep, tough, beautiful conversation. And that's the reason why we come out each and every, time just to be part of, these spaces. And we want you to be part of this, and how you add value and how you add value to these shows is you just being part of what we're doing by sharing, inviting, leaving out your comments, and just just like just drop out your comments, share, tag, and invite people. I want you to do that. So please do me a favor. Let me know what city, what country you're joining in from. I want to know what city, what country you're joining in from as we're getting started. Today we start a beautiful series. So I want to know what city are you joining in from? What country are you joining in from? Type out your comments out there so that we can just get to know where you guys are joining in from. We want to know, 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 we want to know. And we have a beautiful series that we're starting out. So let's go. I'm just trying to share on my end, so please do the needful. All right, so I'm just sharing on my space, and I'm joined tonight. We're supposed to be the four of us tonight. Miss Mumba has got an emergency. She had to do something, so Miss Mampalo is gonna be coming out here and just joining us today. Hopefully she gets home in time and puts up the net on time, and we're gonna get started. So that's like what our show looks like today. Pastor Chris, good evening. How's the beautiful,
Good,
beautiful, beautiful city, Chipata?
good evening, steady coach. Coach, indeed. I've observed that in the evening you are so loving and so sexy. And then,
because of my post, I guess.
yeah, and then in the morning you just turned out to be totally a different person
I know.
who is very vicious and ready to attack whatsoever needs to be attacked.
In the night, it's time to lay down and relax.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
my name is Pastor Chris Mulunda from the eastern part of Zambia. I'm a pastor pastoring a church called Greatness Christian Center. I so much believe in greatness, and I'm married. God has blessed us. We have been married with my wife for 23 years now, and we are blessed with four children. I'm a lover of leadership. I'm a lover of marriage, and I'm a lover of uh, steering up the potential that I see in every man, because I always believe that everyone is destined for greatness and there is something great inside them. I always believe that. I have so much conviction that there is no one who came into this world as a problem, but every one of us came into this world as a solution provider. And there is something that we are carrying inside our own life. I believe there is no one who is lazy. I believe there is always some few people that have not been motivated yet enough to rise and to face the challenges that is ahead of them. And such programs like this one, which will stir up the greatness inside people, I always dive into it. So I believe that anyone who is desiring to see change, transformation, anyone who desires to cultivate their skill, their potentials, their leadership, their family, this is the place that they can be in. And I believe that something great. By the time we finish, you can pick one or two things that can add value to your life.
Awesome. That's beautiful. I know there's a bit of breaking. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
Okay. Yeah.
precisely. Yeah.
I think it froze.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's not start having those problems. It's just too early for me to start having those problems.
It is
Yeah.
too early to be having issues and dealing with all of those things. So we hope it doesn't give us all those things. Hey, good evening, everybody. Why is everyone both viewing? Comments. Let us know what city you're joining in from. Leave us your comments. Tell us where you guys are joining in from, and let's get moving. Let's get moving. I want to see your comments. I want to see what city, what country you're coming in from. Um, Feel free to be able to type them out in the comment section. Uh, just type out in the comment section what city, what country, and do me a favor, please do share and inviting people to be able to come in and be part of our broadcast today and be part of our conversation. So share. We want to have as many people coming in. Let's make wisdom sexy. That's what I believe in. So we're gonna make wisdom sexy. So today, Pastor Chris, we're having an excellent conversation. Are you able to hear me, sir?
Very much. Very
Okay.
much.
So today we're having an interesting. We're starting a series today. You passionate about greatness, and I am just passionate about just transforming the lives of many people and just unleashing and bringing out, the giant that lives inside of them. And we need to be able to do that. There's a lot of euphoria going out there. There's a lot of expectations. There's a lot of excitement about what's happening in our country as in regards to leadership, having new leaders, having a new president, new ministers, practically having just new stuff coming in. And our president has tagged what's happening now as new dawn. And I thought it's something critical that we should have a conversation on new dawn mindset. What does that look like? Yes, he said new dawn, and he leaves it there. And I said we're gonna take it further and say new dawn mindset, because you can have a new dawn, but if you're still carrying your old mindset, a fixed mindset, it means that you're going to stay in the same place. We can scream new dawn from morning until evening until the next 5 years, and nothing begins to change until we begin to change our mindset. As a man thinketh, so is he. So your thoughts determine the quality of your life and your surrounding and everything that is around you. So this series is gonna be something that is gonna be very impactful, because it's gonna push all of us to be able to think, with strategy. What is it that we can do for us to be, part of the success that's happening in this country, for us to be part of the greatness that is happening in this country. And I'm gonna define mindset. And mindset says, and the established set of attitudes held by someone. There's things that we've established. I think there's a bit of an echo in the background.
In my, I know what it is. Okay,
Yeah.
so let me work on it right now. There is a fan
Oh,
that is yeah.
oh, okay. All right. So mindset is basically an established set of attitudes held by someone. A lot of us have set out our minds. A lot of us have designed the way we do things. A lot of us have shaped how we are. So you can have a new president, you can have a new government, but still do another 5 years of same average stuff, same mediocre stuff, because we have not taken time to be able to change and work around what is are we ready as a people? Are our mindset ready? Yes, our mouths are saying we're ready, but are we ready as a new people? As a people for the new dawn and what is about to happen. So that's what we're going to talk about regarding in this space. And what we're going to do is that today we're looking at a general conversation when it comes to the mindset. And then next week we'll start breaking it down to what type of expectations, are we expecting, like, when it comes to business, leadership, politics, policy, the church. So we're going to do a series on the mindsets that we are expecting and the mindset that we're demanding that all of us must be able to level up to. So we need to get to that place. We need to get to a place where we work it out and we bring it to that space of mindset. Pastor Chris, your take on our conversation for today. So today we're looking at general mindset, and then we'll start breaking it down. Yeah.
First of all, I think this is a well thought topic that we are going to have, and it cutters across. Whether in marriage, whether in politics, whether in church, at whichever level that we may be in. What we are simply saying is that there is a new computer in the house. And this new computer needs good software that it's going to drive this new computer. No matter how new the computer is, what is going to make it to function to the full capacity, it's the software that we are going to load in. So what we are saying is that we are progressing, and as we are progressing, let's ensure that we load in a new software into our system so that we take advantage of the new programs that have been put across. I'm sure there are people that have got phones right now, and those phones it's not able to give them the full capacity and the full enjoyment because of the limitation of the phone. It is not able to get everything. So what we are saying is that here is a new computer. It is able to load in new softwares in order for us to function very well. So the attitude must begin to change. Somebody said you cannot solve a problem with the same mentality that created it.
Yes.
You totally need a different mindset in order for you to solve the problems that you are facing today. Now, to me, I usually thank God that we are starting now. To me, I usually look at the church as one of the parable that we had there. You remember there is a parable of talents.
Yes.
You remember that parable?
Yes, sir.
There's a parable of talents. Now, one thing about that parable that you are going to notice is that there were 3 people there. One was given 5, the other one was given 2, and the other one was given 1. Okay, I'm sure you remember that.
Yes.
Now, the problem that is there, I usually say the one was given 1 is the mindset of today. It's the mindset of the church. I usually say that is a church guy. Okay, that's a church guy. The one was given 1, that's a church guy. The guy is fully a church person. And I will convince you for that. I will convince you from the scriptural point of view. I'm going to bring out something that will show you that for sure that guy was a church guy. Now, why do I say so? If you look at the one who was given 5, you know what he did? When the master came, he just said, "Master, you gave me 5 and I've multiplied it. Here is 10. No talking, nothing there."
Yeah.
And the one was given to, but I love what the Lord Jesus Christ said. You know what he said? He said, "Thou good and faithful servant. You were entrusted with little, but now you'll be entrusted with more." In other words, the responsibility that you are going to have now, it's greater compared to what you had. Now, the one who was given 2, he was also recommended the same way. Now, here is the church guy now that came. Check his mentality. First of all, he started by saying, "Sir, I know that you are a wicked man." I'm sure you know where you hear about wickedness. We hear about wickedness in church. The
Yeah.
first guy did not talk about wickedness. The second guy did not talk about wickedness. Then he said, I know you like to reap where you did not sow. Where do you hear the message of sowing and reaping? It's in church. Okay, so this is a proper church guy. Okay, now Jesus is dealing with the issue of mentality here. He's dealing with the issue
Yeah.
of developing what you have been given here. And he was saying, and I know as a church, there is a teaching that we embraced in our time. And that teaching was the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. That's the teaching that we embraced, and it was carrying on, and we had that mentality that all the wealth of the people that are wicked, it's going to be our wealth. We are going to get it. So let's just continue praying. Let's just continue to be righteous. Let's just continue to be, so that the wealth of the wicked will come for us. But let's hear what Jesus Christ said. You know what Jesus said? He now started helping this guy to think. Okay, because I believe that mindset is very important. Even when the devil is around you, if you can just make a decisive thought and a decisive action that is going to be triggered in a relation with your thought, one thing that is going to come out is the better result that is going to come out. You remember the boy who had gotten everything and he wasted everything. What the boy did was just to think. He said, I'm about to eat the food that belongs to pigs. But in my father's house, the devil was around. Demons were around. But what changed his mind was his talk. Was his thought. The moment he thought, now, here is the point. You cannot live well behind your thought. If you can think well, you can live well. So let's come to Jesus Christ with this church guy, the serious Pentecostal guy. This is serious charismatic guy.
Yeah.
So Jesus said, my friend, first of all, look at this guy. The time that others were using to till the ground, to plant their seed, and to multiply what they were given, he used that same time to go and dig and plant the talent that he was given. The same time that others were using to multiply is the same time that he used. What was the problem with this guy? His thinking was terribly wrong. So your thinking will determine your productivity. Your thinking will determine the results that you are going to bring to the table. But his thinking was completely wrong. He went and dug and put the talent on the ground. And his reasoning was that I know that he's the hard man. Now, these two guys, they didn't look at the man, whether he's hard, or they looked at what they were given, the talent that they were given, the time that they were given. So we still have people right now who will still condemn the president or condemn the political party. But one thing that we have all been given is 5 years period. In these 5 years, what are you going to do? Are you going to end only talking, complaining, murmuring, finding faults, and you have suddenly become a political analyst, and you have suddenly become a master in terms of advisory? And to me, you are wasting your time. Look at your talent. Look at your skill. Look at your profession. Look at what you have. In other words, your mentality will determine your productivity. And I thank God that this is the topic that is come on the table. It's a topic that is going to change our mind. Now, let me finish it up with this way. What did Jesus say? Jesus looked at this guy and says, my friend, okay, just in case you didn't know what to do with what I had given you, why didn't you take this thing, this talent, into the bank? Can you imagine? Jesus understood banking by that time. He had the thoughts about banking. Now, what did he know about banking? According to Jesus, it may surprise you to say this steady.
Yes, sir.
You know what Jesus was saying? He was saying, if you can't think like these two others, you should have taken the money to the bank so that they help you to think and to multiply what you have been given.
Yeah.
If you can't produce on your own, take it to the bank so that the bank would help and gain interest. So in other words, if you can't think on your own, find people that can help you to multiply what you have. In other words, Jesus was not ready to receive any excuses. He was not ready to receive anything below what he had given to him. He expected him to multiply.
Yeah. How do we get ready as a people? And good to have all of you, and good to have my brother Tony Ofro, all the way from California. Good to have you. Hey, you know, Wakanda is ready for you. We're ready for you. So we're ready for you. So there's no need to worry, brother. There's enough room out here. So thank you for joining in. Good to have Charity out here. Good to have Richard. What's happening, Richard? Good to have all of you guys joining in. So do me a favor as you're coming in. This and I think you notice Uganda is in the house. Welcome. As you notice, as Pastor Chris is on fire, you realize that there are critical things. Precious Mtapa, what's happening? Good to have you. Please do share and invite people. This country has got a lot to say, but so little to do. We have high expectations, but there's a lot of things that we are not getting ready for. There's a lot of things that we're not preparing our minds for. And as you're joining in, please share and invite. There's nothing as powerful as a transformed mind. This is why the Bible says renew your mind and not remove your mind. A lot of people today are struggling in their personal lives, because they have not worked on their mindsets. Look at the story of the biblical example that you've given. One came with excuses and the other one came with whatever, they just produced results, and with everything that you've explained, I know we're gonna have, I don't even want to go ahead of myself, but I was gonna, because you spoke about something, I'm holding myself back because the church teaches sowing and giving, but it doesn't teach entrepreneurship.
It's a mindset.
Yeah. So I don't even want to go there, but because we're gonna get there. The new dawn mindset. What does a church look like in the new dawn, space? Because I'm gonna go back as you're joining in. Pastor Aka, welcome. Good to have you. It says your mindset is your collection of thoughts and beliefs. A collection of thoughts, and beliefs that shape your thoughts, your thought habits. And your thought habits affect how you think, what you feel, and what you do. Your mindset impacts how you make sense of the world. So there's a high possibility that there will not be anything wrong with the president and the new government. But because of your mindset, there's a way you perceive things. There's a way you look at things. There's a way you process things. There's a way you deal with issues. The president has given you an opportunity, and given you a brand new ministry that deals with entrepreneurship and SMEs and businesses. Somebody is going to be sitting out there and saying, we are waiting for jobs. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. So you have an opportunity to start setting up enterprises. You've got a government that is willing to put in money to invest in entrepreneurs, but the entrepreneurs are still in the tender mindset. So those are things. Yes, sir.
It's a terrible thing. I want to tell you something. There are people who are listening to us right now. Yeah. And these people, some of them have lost their jobs. Some of them have lost their businesses. Some of them have lost a lot of things. Now, they will start a business. To me, the problem is the mentality that they carry with the business that they have started.
Yeah.
Here is the problem. If you were working and you start your business, you still have it in your mind. And some of them would even quickly say, while we are waiting, we have to do this. So you find that the approach of what they are doing is that of pass by. Good, something is going to happen the other day. I'm just passing time. You see, that mentality will not help you to work effectively and produce result in your own life. What you should know is that no matter how small what you are starting, approach it as business. Treat it as business. Don't work with it with a mentality that I'm just passing time with this. Remember what the Bible says, do not despise. That means don't allow a thought in your life that what I'm doing is small. Everything big today, it started small. No matter how big something is, it started small. So it is important to understand that whatsoever you are doing. So here is the program that I started doing. I started calling those that are doing business. You are doing business. I started to approach them. Talk to them. First of all, you need to change your dressing. You need to change it completely. You don't just walk with a t-shirt. You don't just walk with it's a mindset that needs to be changed. You don't just walk up anytime you reach 10 hours and inside your mind you are just saying, I'm just passing time. There is no passing time. That is what, if the ministry has been created, it has been created now. But we started thinking about this even before. We started talking to people about approaching life as business even before. When you are going for your work, it's 8 hours. You are seated in the office. Whether you have business or you don't have business, you approach it as business. And no, there is no small business. There is no big business. It's the mindset that you need to carry. And that mindset is the mindset of hard work. It's the mindset of there is something big in whatsoever that I am doing. And you approach it like that. So I would invite their wives as well, because their wives will be saying, the moment the money comes, the woman would think this is the only money that we have and we have to spend it. They forget that the man has to pay rent, he has to pay his workers, he has to pay. So it was total a mindset that we needed to change in the lives of people. And I could see change, I could see result, and this is what is going to happen. This is the approach that we need to have. This is this, and if you check what the government is trying to do, they are not trying to discourage anyone. They are not. They are just putting up the system that would help those people that were already doing something into something that is that they are putting up the infrastructure. They are putting up the system that would help to deliver their goods in a good way. So to me, let's work with that. Let's change our minds towards that. There is no small thing. Even if you are selling fritters, it's a business. It's a bakery in making. Don't treat it like no, that is a bakery. No matter how small it is, you don't despise the days of small beginning. Just change your approach, change your mentality. Even if you are selling ice blocks, change your mentality. That is a proper business that you have, and approach it with a serious mindset. The other mindset that we need to have is those that are working, they still feel if I can do something better than what I am doing, I'll better off. Listen, the change starts with the guy who is sweeping. He must sweep, he must clean, he must do everything as if that is the only job that you have. If this mentality changes, I want to let you know that we are going to see a lot of changes in the minds of people. I stayed in one place for close to 18 days. I now understood why people die prematurely. I now understood why there is so much confusion. I now understood why there is so much productivity. I now understood why there is less result. It's because of attitude and approach. Anything that you are doing, you are expecting to be paid at the end of the day. You are expecting something at the end of the day. Do your job well, and the results will come later. The benefit will come later. Don't do something for the sake of trying to get. No, try to deliver. And once you deliver, the results will speak for themselves. The results will attract whatsoever that you want.
Exactly. And I think one of the critical things that I put on the screen is something that I share in a lot of my coaching programs. And every time I have an opportunity to speak to people, I always share, this image that I put up on the screen. It's depicting. So, and I want you to really think about yourself as a Zambian, as an African, and I have a brother of mine, brother Tony from the US. You're a brother. I want you to look at what is on the screen in the season of a new dawn. What type of mindset are you picking? The two images on the screen, and inside it is written growth mindset, fixed mindset. And when you look at what it is in the growth mindset, it says failure is an opportunity to grow. I can learn to do anything I want to. Challenges help me to grow. Most of the times when people face a challenge, when people go through something, even when you spoke about business, some of you want to get paid the first day of I actually was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and he was talking to me and he was saying, hey, I have done business, and payments are not taking long. I says, well, sometimes you're better off doing the work and wait for the payments to be able to come in. The problem with most of our generation, you want to get fed instantly. You want the money now. You like you live in eat mode. You are ready to eat. You're ready to have everything and harvest everything today and eat it out. So those are mindsets to begin to address. My effort and attitude determine my abilities. Feedback is constructive. I like to try new things. That's a growth mindset. And then there's failure. And the fixed mindset, it says failure is the limit of my abilities. Yeah, I'm either good at it or I am not. And you see a lot of these things that people bring out different approaches to these things. So there's a fixed mindset, there's a growth mindset. The growth mindset is giving it's giving yourself a chance. Do you know how many people are not even kind to themselves? Do you know how many people are not good to themselves? That's why they can't even be good to other people, because their minds have been fed with so many, junk, so much junk, that it's difficult for them to be able to bring out the best. Where the mind goes, so the man follows. Don't question the things you are doing. You have to go back to start programming how you respond to issues. I give an example. I like to say the only time I'm getting into politics is when Zambians' mindset begin to change. They begin to ask for quality leaders. I am not going to become a politician and I am giving you money to save you. If you want me to save you, you have to be able to say, we want you to save, and we are willing to go after you. I'm not going to be the one who buys you t-shirts and vitenges. Then what is my interest? What is my interest? What is my interest? So we have to begin to fix our mindset. So we'll talk about that when we get to the politics, of the country. So for this country to be able to make progress and for us to be able to win and to achieve the things that we need to achieve as a country, there's a lot of things that we need to deal with. There's a lot of things that we need to work around and to be able to dissect, to be able to break apart. And here's one thing I also that breaks my heart. Anytime on my personal platforms or the other brands that I own, anytime you bring up a conversation that is here, you have people here. Anytime you bring up a conversation that is here, this is why now people love to go to places where they scream at them and just spit on them, and they don't give them wisdom. Because it's easy to be able to be told you will drive this year, you will get married this year, but taule samba, you don't know how to take care of your hair, you don't know how to look beautiful, you like what you say, the wealth of the wicked is coming to you. So church people are frustrated, church people are bitter, because the mindset they have is a give me mindset. It's an easy mindset. You're not willing to pay the price. You're not willing to go an extra mile to do the things it demands and requires for you to be able to create the success. You can see how bitter people have been about the new president. It's not that it's not his fault. It's just the mindset of people that are assessing him. So you are assessing him. You know, one of my favorite quotes is that a stupid man's report of what a clever man says can never be accurate, because he translates what he hears into something he can understand. So if Pastor Chris brings his game here, you begin to say, like what they tell me. I remember one time I went to a place, somebody told me and says, "Oh, the things you teach in Vamma book, it doesn't happen in real life." Because some of us say you can succeed, you can live the life of your dream, you can be excellent, you can be great, and people feel like, no, those are what you read in books. It's a mindset.
Yeah.
It's a mindset that a lot of people have. So for us to be able to create the success in this country and change the way people think, there has to be a transfer from gossip, drama, to a place where knowledge and wisdom becomes your obsession. Like some of us, I am obsessed, Pastor Chris. Like this morning, I was even saying, I was saying to myself, like I couldn't even get to my office because I was in my room listening to, my mentors and my coaches, and I feel like I don't want to go to work. That's how so obsessed with wisdom. And I'm thinking like, like I can't even move. Like wisdom is like honey. Like you just this morning I was saying I want to go and do what I'm supposed to do. I need to go to the office. I need to go and start my meetings. But before I go to bed, when I wake up, I'm listening to every day. This is my routine. Every morning I'm listening to my coaches. In the evening before I go, I'm listening to my coaches and my mentors. Every day when I get to my office, if I don't have a client, I am listening to some. That's like a lifestyle. And that's why it's difficult to be shallow for me. It's not possible. Because I am feeding my mind. I'm feeding my mind. I'm allowing the right things to come in. This is why even the way I look at the president, even the way I analyze the things he does, it's coming from a place of growth. A lot of you are analyzing your wives and your husband from a place of mediocrity. This is why you can't be here and marry here. It's not possible. That's chaos. That's chaos. That becomes a problem. This is why if you are here, you can't get a business partner who is here, because they'll always question why you want excellence in the business, because they're used doing average stuff. So the level has to go higher. The mindset have to be, the mindset have to be here when you're getting together to do business or partnerships. Those are critical things that we need to do on the mindset.
Wow, Coach. First of all, there are two things that are quickly bubbling in my spirit. The first one is, you see, when you are saying the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just, if you look at what Jesus Christ said, he said, "Thou wicked and unfaithful servant." He addressed it to the servant that you are wicked and you are unfaithful. So let's try to look at what Jesus Christ was saying. A wicked man is somebody that does not utilize what he has been given.
Yeah.
A faithful man is somebody that multiplies what he has been given. He looks at the potential of multiplying. I know faithfulness, we look at commitment, truthfulness, but according to Jesus Christ, he was looking at it in the area of ability to be resourceful in whatsoever that you have been given. Then you are a faithful man. And a wicked man is somebody that does not utilize what he has been given. Everyone is born with a talent, is born with a skill. There is something good about you. There is something that you can do. If you don't make use of what you have, you are wicked, and your wealth is laid up for the just. And the just man is somebody that is doing something with what he has been given. Look at the people that have wealth today. It's not people that shout hallelujah. It's not people that sing. What was Bill Gates doing here? I don't think somebody prophesied in his life, or he spoke in tongues, or he did that he did. There was nothing. The guy just went and made sure that he used his mind to the maximum.
Master Chris, you're spoiling Papa's businesses.
I'm a pastor, and nobody should look at me as somebody that does not believe in some of these things. But as a church, we have contributed to the destruction of mentality of people, especially young people that do not bother to read the Bible. To me, that's a serious concern. How can you be young and you can't read the Bible? I mean, that is a serious challenge, because your mindset has to start. What God's word, the moment, just by reading the words of Jesus Christ, it will make you wise. Just by reading the word of Jesus Christ. For me, what I see in the Bible, I see wise people. I see people that use mentality. I don't see a scripture where it tells me about Joseph praying and fasting, and I don't see the scripture. But what was unique about Joseph? Here is one thing that was unique, Coach. Number one, he was a dreamer. He's somebody that believed so much in dreams. Now, what is a dream? It's a formulation of mental pictures. It's a picture that is coming into your mind. If you are able to formulate a mental picture, it's going to help you. Now, if you can think, you can see a vision. If you can think, you can, especially if you can think forward, you can go forward. Most of the time, our thinking is backward. Our thinking is not thinking that will produce result. That's where we have serious problem. Think, you can't rise above your thoughts. Your thoughts will always place a limitation over your life. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. You are a subtotal of your thoughts. The results that you produce according to your thoughts. So what was unique about
that's powerful.
What was unique about Joseph? Here is something interesting. When Joseph was in Potiphar's house, Potiphar says, I have servants, but this servant that has come is so unique. He's producing result more than the servants that I have. What was the underlining thought? The Bible says, whatsoever was done in Potiphar's house, Joseph was the doer of it all. Let's follow him in prison. What was he doing in prison? The Bible also tells us that whatsoever the prisoner warders were doing, Joseph was the doer of it all. So Joseph was a doing man. Joseph was a thinking man. Joseph was a solution man. He was a solution provider. Now, here's the statistics, which is so shocking. They say only 5% of people think, and 15% they think they are thinking, and yet they are not thinking. And 80% would rather die than think. Think about that. So there are people that are ready to die than to think.
80% would rather die than think.
Yes. They would rather die than think. How do we know that? Ask them a question. You hear what my friend has said. That's exactly what I'm saying. Then you know that this guy is not you just hear, I concur, I agree, I mean, bring up, be a thinker. If there is anything that we need today, we need thinkers. And that's what, don't you think that that's the reason why God gave us the brain? It is to help us to think.
Because he didn't want to think for you.
No. He didn't want to create robots. He wanted to create people that can think. If God wanted to create robots, he would have created robots and they would have been doing whatsoever he commands. But he gave you the will, he gave you the mind. And every thought, it has three components. Every thought that will ever come to you, it has three components. The first component of a thought is a visual aspect. The second part of the thought is the emotional part of it. The third point of a thought is the logical point of it. So these three, they go with a thought. So whatsoever you are thinking, if you can think well, that's why you'll be feeling well, and you'll be thinking well, and you'll be living well, because your emotion is attached to your thinking.
That's very true. And in fact, I think in the medical space, it's been researched and proven that people that have got good thoughts recover quicker, no matter how tough your diseases are, because you have beautiful thoughts, because of how you look at things. As a man thinketh, so easy. You've got beautiful thoughts. Your life is beautiful. You can't have mafia thoughts and expect to have an amazing life. It's not possible.
It's not possible. So,
yeah.
So we need to work seriously on the thought pattern, And these thoughts that we have, they should begin to create positive pictures for our future. Because it's the picture that you have today that will determine your future. The picture that you have. That's why every thought has got picture component. If I say a car, you don't see C-A-R. You see a type of a car. Some of you right now, the moment we say car, you see Range Rover, you see Mercedes-Benz. You don't think in terms of C-A-R. A word will produce a picture. So it is that picture that is going to determine your future. So what pictures are people holding in their life? In this new dawn, what kind of a picture do you have, first of all, for yourself, for your family, for your business, for the nation of Zambia? What kind of a picture are you carrying? If you carry a good picture, we have a good future. It's important to understand that. Now, I know many of us, we read about Abraham, we understand him very well. But you see, I usually say that God had a serious challenge to convince Abraham that he's going to be a father of many nations. And the problem was because of the mentality of Abraham. That was the biggest. His mindset was totally on the negative. He was looking at his age instead of looking at the creator of his life. He was looking at Sarah. So God had a challenge to convince this man called Abraham. From the age of 75 up to 99, he seriously had challenge, he seriously had problem. So what was God doing for 24 years? He was trying to educate Abraham to change his mentality. And thank God that Abraham was taken into an education system by God. And how did God work it out? He had to work for 24 years. For the children of Israel, it was 40 years. For us, it is 27 plus 7, that is 34 years. And right now, we have 6 years where we just need to work it out in a different way. 27 years, you did 7 years, the other party, or 10 years, the other party, and then we have another one. We are close to 40 years, just like the children of Israel. They were not able to take onions and cucumbers out of their own mind. At one point, they said, we better go back to Egypt so that we can go and just be slaves and eat cucumbers. Can you imagine? There is honey ahead of you, but you are thinking of cucumber to just go back. What type of mentality is that?
and unfortunately, some people may laugh, but that's what they are living.
I mean, God is saying you have dwelt enough for this mountain. Move forward, go forward, make progress. But they are saying, God, I don't think you have a good idea for our life. As we know what is better. We have tested cucumber and we better go there. It's better we go back and eat cucumber than the honey that you are promising us. It was a serious challenge. But let's go back to Abraham. How did God educate Abraham? He wanted to change his mentality. I know most of the people that are hearing me, they have heard the story of Abraham, that he got his child in his old age. But God had to educate him. You know how he started? He started during the day. He would walk with Abraham and say, just the dust. Just be careful while you are stepping on the dust. It was a training. He says, the way the dust is, so shall the number of your children be. So he wanted to print something in his mentality. He wanted to help him to start seeing dust as sons. So because God had already promised him, but it wasn't in the mind of Abraham. So God now is taking Abraham into image education, vision education, dream education. He says, step on this ground. As he was stepping on those ground, Abraham started seeing dust, and he started converting that dust into children. What about in the night? God says, okay, I've managed to walk with you in the day where you have to see dust as children. What about in the night? So in the night time, God had to take him out and say, let's go outside, start counting the stars. As the number of stars is, so shall your children be. So during the day, dust. During the night, stars. What is God doing? He's planting an image inside him. And it took 24 years for God to do that. The only thing that took a year was the confession when God changed his name from Abraham to Abram. And within a year, the guy had children. And that is an impossible case. So as Zambians,
yeah, go on. Maybe you're answering what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah, so as Zambians now, what is it that we need? It's the same education. It's the picture that we need to work on. We need to start putting positive pictures on our fridge, on our TV stations, on our radio stations. These are things that must begin to come out. Every time you tune on the radio, you are hearing a positive story that is going to plant a positive image in your own mind, so that you don't grow up and start throwing stones instead of throwing thoughts and ideas and solutions in the nation.
It is important. That's powerful. Yeah, go on, sir. Go on. Keep flowing.
Yeah. So what we need is to go back to the school of image formation. It's to go back to the school of mental revolution, mental transformation. It's to go back to school. It doesn't matter how you educated you are. It doesn't matter how behind you are. Pictures are pictures. And the language of God is pictures. The language of the Holy Spirit is pictures. So if we can begin to create pictures. Now, what did you do here? You brought a picture. No matter how much we may say, a picture will remain in the minds of people and say, oh, Steady showed me two pictures. A picture that was portraying this and a picture that was portraying a fixed mind and a growth mind. So that picture will remain. So what we need now, because time is not with us, we need to start planting mental positive pictures about church, about marriage, about leadership. And this is what is coming ahead of us. And if somebody can just stay with us for some few time, I believe within an hour, somebody will say, wow, because this kind of a program is a thought-provocative program. It's not promising miracles, but if you can listen to us, miracles will begin to happen in your life.
In fact, that's how this is the most guaranteed word to really get miracles, is by working on your mindset, painting those pictures, speaking the things that you desire, the things that you want, the things that you believe that must manifest in your life and what must manifest in our country. Because if you sit back and you're not adding value, then you become a liability to our country. You're not adding value to what the new leadership must be able to take on, what the new leadership must be able to begin to do. So like Pastor Chris said, every morning you wake up, what seeds are you sowing? What seeds are you sowing? What are the things that you're speaking regarding your mindset? What are the things you're cultivating? And this is also one of the things I tell people in my coaching sessions. I says, I'm not a magician. Who you are, you've created it over a period of 21 years, 25 years, 30 years, 40 years. And you just meet me in my 12 months coaching program and you want me to transform your life. It's not possible. It's gotta be a process. You have to be willing to unlearn. I think I've been sharing this story. I was driving with my son, and my son asked me a question that I would have never asked my father, because now I am teaching healing. I have a masterclass coming over this weekend on from brokenness to wholeness. He asked me a question that I would have never asked my father. He said, Dad, he's 12 years old, and he said, Dad, I'm gonna ask you a question. So now let's imagine I have grown older and I have a crush on a girl. How do I deal with that? In my mind, I know what he's trying to say to me, that currently this thing is happening, but he doesn't want to get in trouble. But so he says, I am asking this question in advance, when I am 21 or in future, and at that moment I had to get my unhealed self, the things my parents passed on to me, the culture I grew up. I grew up in a space where you don't ask your parents about girls. You don't talk to your father about women. You go and talk to your grandmother. I had to, instantly in that moment, I had to be able to readjust
Correct.
how I was going to
Correct.
respond. You know, I had
Correct.
to say to him, I would have said, keep quiet. You don't talk to me like that. I am your father. I would have put the venom that my parent passed on. And I don't blame them, because if they knew better, they would have done better. But I am healing myself and doing things in the most different way. And I said to my son, every man at a certain stage is going to have a crush on a girl. You know, you're going to like a woman. It's what you do with those feelings. And now, guess what that is beginning to do? It's opening a new season. It's opening a new legacy where conversation is okay. It's okay to have uncomfortable conversation with your parents. It's okay to have uncomfortable conversation with your father. And that's a role of what fathers must be able to do. Guess what I had to readjust at that moment? It's mindset. The brokenness that was passed on to me, I had to say, this is how I respond and this is how I deal with it. I don't remember ever getting a hug from my father. I don't remember ever getting a hug from my mother, but my son gives me hugs. My son speaks with me, and there's conversation. It's mindset. But you can pick things that happened in 1964 and bring them now, and begin to process and begin to work on those. This is why I am a lover and I am a chaser of healing, because I don't want to go out there and, you know, and multiply and replicate brokenness to this generation, because there's a huge responsibility to be able to do the right thing, and all these things comes to mindset. All these things come to how you process things, how you deal with things, how do you work around that. And time has gone. So today was just an intro. So as we come back next week, we are picking New Dawn mindset of business, politics, leadership. So each show is going to cover, we're going to pick the church, and we're going to go into details of the expectations we have. And I guess we need to add family, New Dawn family, because Bali has been speaking more about family. We need to bring that.
I would rather we start with family as well.
Awesome. So
we start with family, then we build it up.
Yeah. So I think for me, those are the things that we need to work around, and I think it's a huge responsibility for us to do all these things. And your closing words before we leave.
Well, I think we are in the right path, and this is something that has been bothering, and it has come at the right time. And to you, coach, I think indeed you are showing that you are a coach, not only for few individuals, but coaching the nation now. And if we build it up on this platform, I think that is going to be okay. And to our fellow brothers and sisters that are following us, we just want to say, get along and follow us, because we know that this will teach one another. Your comments are very important. Your contribution is very key and very vital. But let's start with where it matters most, and that's our mindset. And we believe that if we build it up like that, we have a better future for our children, for our lives, for our business, and for our government.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Pastor Chris. And please, like I always say, let's help grow this brand. And I believe that we're gonna grow it. We're gonna see one day the president have conversations with us on this platform. Different ministers, because I think that's why I called it the Talk Lounge Zambia. This is a place where we have conversation, real conversation. I think this is time for us to run and do what needs to be done to be able to shape the face of our country, our families, our businesses, and networks. It's a new dawn, but new dawn without a proper mindset, it's not going to happen. So we have this responsibility to be able to take on and to be able to shift the game and work it better from a different space. So I am excited, and thank you so much for joining in. Keep sharing, whether you're watching the replay, keep sharing, and let's inspire.
Did we have any comments, any questions?
We just had comments. We didn't have a question. We didn't have questions. So most of them have been, maybe we also didn't ask for questions. I should have
Yeah,
asked that. But please, if you have any questions, you can ask in advance, because this is a series. We're going to do part 2 next week. And we'll be able to pick it up from there. So if you have any questions, feel free to send it out to us and bring it out. As a man thinketh, so easy. You are a product of your thoughts. You can't think wrong and expect to live right. So you need to make sure you work around that. So have a wonderful night, guys. God bless you. We'll talk to you soon.